The purpose of this video is to conduct a brief review of the course syllabus and the grading rubrics that will be utilized in the course. At this point, you should have already printed out a copy of the syllabus or picked up a copy during class. Now, most of your instructors are probably using a syllabus that looks very similar to this one, but I need to draw your attention to some parts of my syllabus that are a bit different. Now, you will notice among the contact information that there is a reference to using Skype for office hours. Now, industry uses conference calling as part of routine communications now, so I think that it's important that I offer this to my students as well. And Skype allows you to make phone calls for free to another Skype user, so those of you who do not want to eat up your cell phone minutes can sign up for Skype and make calls to me for free. Now, I am a Skype premium customer, so if you and a study buddy both have the same question and want to speak with me at the same time, I can conference in several people into the same video call. Now, if you'll scroll down to the course information, you will see that I include a picture of what your textbook should look like. And if you have any questions, okay, we're just going to keep the current color scheme. If you have any questions, just please give me a call, or if your book appears to be a bit different. On page 3, page 2, is a section on participation, and this may be a little different from your other classes. Now, in all of my classes, participation is 30% of your grade. That means if you do not participate, then the highest grade you can get in the class is a C. There is no texting, sleeping, or disengaging in my classes, since participation is a way that I use to gauge whether or not students understand the material. Now, if you miss a class or want to make up the missed participation grade, there is a list of assignments that you can complete for any missed class. Now, if you miss a class and fail to submit the participation assignment, then the grade you will receive for that class is a 0. Now, on the online classes, it's a bit different. You earn your participation grade by participating in the course discussions, and basically the same rules apply. You're expected to participate in that discussion. If you miss a discussion, then you will need to write an assignment that will count as your participation grade, so you don't end up with a 0 for that week. But you will also have to go in and make your contribution to the discussion board. Now, the test section sets forth that there will be 4 exams given during the semester, and any student who has an A average in the course without rounding on the last day of instruction will not be required to take the final. And by the way, you want to do everything you can to get an A in the course, because the final exam is essay-based, comprehensive, and closed book. Now, in the table under the course schedule, you will see the general pace of the class and the weeks I am anticipating that we will cover material. Now, this schedule is subject to change, and you should consult the Blackboard calendar for your due dates. Now, you will notice that March 22nd is the last day to withdraw without academic penalty. Now, under the general course environment, and this should be on page 4, are the policies relating to extra credit work. Now, there are 2 important things to remember about extra credit work. 1, no extra credit points will be added to your grade until all the work is submitted. And if you have a 0 for any assignment, you will have to make up that assignment plus complete the extra credit work. Now, that includes missing participation grades, and in an online class, that is specifically the discussion board. And the second thing you should remember is that extra credit assignments have a due date. So I do not accept extra credit work at the end of the semester, basically because it creates a grading burden. So if you are interested in making an A in the course so that you do not have to take that final, you need to be submitting the extra credit work when it is due. Now, on page 5, this addresses appropriate use of technology. If you have portable devices that you use to communicate with your friends and access work, that's fine, but your answers to homework should not be drafted on Androids or Blackberries or other portable devices. Typically, work that is drafted on these devices, the work does not meet the standards for college level writing. Now, any assignment or email will not be read beyond the 5th era and will be returned to you for editing. Now that you are in college, your writing should reflect that level of achievement. Even today, with all the education I have completed, I can still question my own writing. And if you have any questions on your spelling, look it up in the dictionary or use another word. If you have questions regarding your grammar, rewrite the sentence using another sentence structure. And of course, text jargon should never be used in formal academic communications. Now, you may use text jargon in communication with me when we are texting in Skype or other devices. Now, also on page 5 is a section entitled Special Classes of Employment. If you are active duty military, police, fire, EMS, or a disaster responder, volunteer or otherwise, please send me an email at the beginning of the semester so that I can accommodate you later on if you are called into work under emergency circumstances. Now, I use Safeassign, which is a program through which I submit your written work. And Safeassign will compare your document to other documents on the internet and through a global database to make sure that it is original content. Anything that you use, text, pictures, tables, that you do not create should be cited. Now, let's talk about emergencies, because things can happen. And this should be page 6. And it is. On page 6 is my policy regarding emergencies. Now, in order for there to be no confusion in the interpretation of this section, I will read it to you verbatim. At the time that the emergency becomes known to you, you should contact the instructor immediately if you will be missing any coursework or test. You should also provide documentation that substantiates the emergency. Now, an emergency is defined in this course as a serious injury or a life-changing circumstance that impacts you personally or your immediate family. Now, if another person is 100% dependent upon you for their care and provision, then a serious injury or life-changing circumstance that impacts that dependent will also qualify. An immediate family is defined as mother, father, stepmother, stepfather, brother, sister, step-siblings, husband or wife, children, and stepchildren. If you have any questions, you should contact me. Do not wait to speak with me next month about an emergency you had today. The more time you accrue between the date of your emergency and the date you make me aware of it, the higher the likelihood that I will not be able to help you. Now, even though we have gone over some very important parts of the syllabus, you should take the time to read it in its entirety and make sure that you email me any questions you have so that I can make those issues clearer to the entire class. So let's move on to the grading rubrics. Now, not all professors use grading rubrics, so I'm going to go over mine now. You can access the rubrics in Blackboard by clicking on the menu item entitled Syllabus and Rubrics. Let me make this a little larger. Okay, just click on Syllabus and Rubrics. And once inside of that section, you will see that I use 2 rubrics and they are available for your review. So let's look at the rubric entitled Rubric for Written Assignments. Okay, we'll get this a little bigger as well. Okay. You will see that each column classifies the level of work and the points that you can earn in each category toward your grade. Now, the row indicates the categories: effective in communication, relevant, use of materials, and references. So if you want to achieve the maximum number of points in college level work, then you should make sure that your work is well organized, written in standard English, and that it is error-free. Now, if you have one error, the maximum number of points you can earn for effectiveness in communication is 18. 2 errors will limit you to 16 points, and the points decrease based upon the number of points. Now, I specifically want to go over the row entitled Use of Materials and References. Now, if you do not relate your work to the text and cite it, the highest level of points you will be able to earn is 16. At this level of study, we are not creating new ideas nor new thoughts. That is why it is important for you to cite your sources. And if you get in the habit of it now, it will not be as big a deal as you continue into higher level courses. So read the rest of the rubric and let me know if you have any questions. Now, sometimes students will answer a question and they believe that their answer is correct and they can prove it. And textbooks can contain errors just like test banks, and when I write my own test questions, I can make mistakes as well. And if you find yourself in that circumstance, you might want to contest the answer. Now, you will see there is a rubric for contesting questions, or contesting answers rather. If you want a favorable outcome, which means that you adequately prove your position and I give you back the points, you will need to make sure that you, 1, have a contradiction within the same chapter or section covered, okay, and that you relied upon that section to answer your question. You need to show me that the book is vague and that the textbook does not address the question. And you need to write me some sentences that it shows me that you understand why your answer is wrong or correct, and why your answer is a better answer or equally acceptable. When we go up to level to which students relied upon alternative sources, if you're using another source besides the textbook, then you need to make sure that you got permission to use that resource first. But nonetheless, if you do find a contradiction somewhere, I'd like to know about it. So bring your alternative resources to me. Now, students use this all the time to contest answers on questions and answers in the book, and I do not take offense to you questioning my grading.